Hello. So I don't know if you noticed that on my porch I have cat houses here. It all started right here, this little girl. She's an old girl now. Allie, where you going, baby? Psst, psst, psst. Not far. She won't go anywhere except for my porch or the neighbor's porch at the most. She came here because there was an old lady, a very old lady that lived the next corner who had a couple cats. And she died, and they took her out of the house, but the cats were in the house. Well, once the prostitutes realized that the lady who owned the house was gone and nobody was coming to claim the house, they started using the house for business. And she was in the house this whole time. So they were feeding her. All the prostitutes, when they came in, they did feed her, give her water, and she stayed there for the longest time. Of course, what usually comes along with prostitution and drug dealing and junkies is they end up catching the house on fire, either smoking crack or using candles or whatever it may be. So she ended up 10 years ago around here on my porch, hair singed on her back, her head, her whiskers. It never got to her skin. She was okay. But she meows and she makes this sound, ow, like that. So I ended up calling her Alley Girl. And Barks came by about 10 years ago, right after she showed up here, and they took her in and gave her shots, but they said she was already fixed. So I'm assuming the old lady probably took very good care of her. But she's been on my porch ever since. She'll go to the front yard out here to go to the bathroom, and then she runs back to my porch. She's been doing that for 10 years. It's tough because now there's other ones that have showed up. This kitty, and then the black and white Persian that I call Scaredy Cat because she runs away so fast. She's been here eating off my porch for 8 years, and she's still afraid of me. Still runs. Here she is over there. She's a beautiful cat. Persian. Long hair anyway, I don't know. Yeah, that's Scaredy Cat. But that's my Alley Girl right there. Right, Alley Girl? It gets tough feeding them because I have 2 cats. There's a cat on the back porch too. My neighbor's back porch that I feed, so it ends up being 3 out front, 1 or 2, depending on what comes around out back. So 5 outside animals and then 2 in. It's difficult. But she's a good girl, aren't you, Alley? Say, huh? Can I pet you? Yeah. Yeah. Say, meow? What's going on with you today, Allie? Huh? Not sure how old she is. I know she's at least 10. Because she's been here 10 years. So probably maybe 12, 13. You're getting to be an old girl, right? You're getting to be an old girl now? It's funny because every time the other cats come up on the porch, she smacks them. But at the same time, when you bring the food out, she'll make her noise. She'll go, meow, meow, meow. And then I'll put the food out, but she won't touch it. And she'll look for the other cats to come eat, like she's their mama. There's been raccoons that showed up on my porch before for the cat food. Craziness. And she's still around. So I end up getting 2 cat houses from Amazon, because I didn't want the other cats over here to show up to push her out. Of course, she won't allow that. She'll beat the crap out of them. But I ended up getting 2 just in case, because it was wintertime coming. I didn't want them to be cold. And my neighbor, he helps me once in a while with food when he can, but he has a cat too. It's difficult feeding the outside animals. But Allie's, I've tried twice over the years to bring her in, and she just wasn't having it. And my cat, I have a 19-year-old cat, and at the time I had a dog, and there was no way she was doing it. She's too afraid. At this point, she's an outside cat, and she'll die an outside cat. But look, she's got it good. She's got really nice houses out here, and it's got, in the wintertime, I put a chicken coop in, heater in there so she would be warm, and she has the mats that put the heat back to you, keep you warm so you don't freeze to death. And they have food every day and water every day, even though the food's getting tougher and tougher to do. But yeah, and we give them attention, and she just sits here on the porch, and for a while she would go out. and run around, maybe over to the graveyard or other yards or whatever. But the last, say, 5-6 years, not so much. She just stays on the porch. She's just afraid to go anywhere. And then there's Scaredy Cat. She pretty much lives in the graveyard, right, Kitty? Scaredy Cat, what you doing, honey? You're so pretty. Pretty girl. But that's Allie's story. She's good. She sits here and watches what goes on all day, right? Right. Say hi. Say hi. Like, leave me alone. All right. So that's the story of Alley Cat.